Andrew often dreamed of the same nightmare. In it, his father would throw his pregnant mother out of their shabby cabin, shouting with a voice as cold as the winter storm, "I don't care if you die, Werner. I won't tolerate another naked child here." Little Andrew, no older than 5, clung desperately to his father's coat, sobbing. His mother, arms outstretched, called to him, but the howling blizzard drowned out her voice. A soft voice inside him whispered, "I must go with Mom." The boy gathered all his courage to push against his father and run out the door, but a strong hand seized him by the neck and, like a rag doll, hurled him to the ground. Darkness swallowed him whole. This time, Andrew awoke, drenched in sweat. What terrified him most was that it wasn't just a dream. It was memory. Now 30, a successful businessman, Andrew still could not shake the grip of fear on his chest. His biological father had drowned the previous summer while drunk, but the past had a way of casting long, cold shadows. The townsfolk of the village where he grew up never spoke of his mother. No one knew where Werner had gone. What if, Andrew wondered, what if I have a brother or sister somewhere? What if she is still alive? Andrew loved his adoptive parents deeply. They were prosperous farmers from the same village, and he had fulfilled all their hopes for him, expanding the family business into a thriving enterprise. Yet, no matter how successful he became, the question of his origins gnawed at him relentlessly. It was only after his 30th visit back to his hometown that old Mrs. Antonov finally broke her silence. "Listen, Andy," she said gently, using the affectionate nickname from his childhood. "Your mother wasn't to blame for anything. She never betrayed that miserable man you called father, that I can swear on my soul. And she gave birth to a little girl. We called her Jenny. That's all I know. Please don't ask me more, Soul. It's not meant to be uncovered." Andrew tried everything, begging, pleading, even offering money, but the old woman refused to reveal more. At times he wondered whether she had made it up just to give him peace. That hope flickered and died the day he returned to find Antonov had passed away. The last thread tying him to his origins had snapped. All that remained of his mother were old photos. His father had tried to destroy every trace of Werner, but by some miracle, when Andrew went out one snowy morning to shovel the yard, he found a small pendant hanging from the apple tree, a tiny locket with her photo inside. He liked to believe she had left it for him on purpose, a silent, desperate gesture of love. Andrew, broad-shouldered with dark brown hair and intense brown eyes, bore no resemblance to the porcelain-skinned, curly-haired beauty in the photo, whose long neck and sorrowful gray eyes haunted his dreams. Instead, he was the mirror of his father, and he hated it. He avoided mirrors altogether, loathing the reflection that bound him to a man who had destroyed so much. "You're up early, son," his adoptive father greeted him warmly one morning. Now he had only him, his true father, the one who had chosen him. His adoptive mother had drowned 2 years earlier while visiting an old friend in the south, a tragedy that still felt raw. Andrew had never abandoned the people who raised him. He owed them everything. Yet that morning, Andrew confessed, "Dad, I have a bad feeling. I can't explain it, but that dream, it always comes before trouble." His father, wise and cautious, reminded him, "Son, you trust those new partners too easily. They're pushing for exclusive conditions too fast. Watch your back." Andrew bristled, unwilling to doubt the incredible opportunity before him. A major expansion, more jobs, higher wages. It seemed almost too good to be true. His father warned him again, sighing when Andrew remained stubborn. "All right then," he said, "make your own mistakes. You're young. You'll learn." Before leaving, his father made one more request. "There's a young woman I'd like you to hire. Her name's Jenny. She's the daughter of an old friend. She's mute but smart, hardworking. She needs a fresh start. Could you find something for her? Andrew hesitated. They had a cleaning company under contract. No open positions. But seeing the earnestness in his father's eyes, he agreed. All right, we'll figure something out. And if you're still with me, friend, it means you're as invested in Andrew's journey as I am. I invite you to stay close. There's so much more to uncover. A few days later, Andrew's secretary buzzed his office. Mr. Andrews, your father is here, and he brought a young woman. Shall I send them in? Startled, his father had not set foot in the office since his adoptive mother's death. Andrew rushed to the reception area. There stood his father, a proud glint in his eye, and beside him, a young woman with delicate features, blonde curls, and an air of quiet strength. Though she said nothing, her intelligent gaze spoke volumes. This is Jenny, his father said. She doesn't speak, but she's sharp. Give her a chance, son. Moved by his father's rare visit and seeing the fragility in Jenny's small frame, Andrew agreed immediately. Of course, for now, we only have a cleaning position open, but if something else becomes available, we'll move her up. He instructed the secretary to show Jenny the storeroom and supply closet, and asked her to kindly inform the staff about Jenny's condition, so there would be no awkwardness. Still, within the week, trouble brewed. Marina, the company's accountant, barged into his office, fuming. "It's that cleaner of yours snooping through my papers," she hissed, demanding Jenny's dismissal. "Marina," Andrew said, trying to stay calm, "maybe it was just a misunderstanding. Jenny's no spy. She's one of us now." Marina's eye twitched, her anger bubbling over. "If that stupid little farm girl and mute peasant is more important to you, fine, but don't expect loyalty from me." She accused Andrew of using Jenny to spy on her, insinuations that made Andrew's skin crawl. "Listen," he said coldly, "I won't fire Jenny, and if you insult her again, you won't be working here either." His words struck a nerve. Why was Marina so defensive? Why was she so afraid of being watched? That night, Andrew couldn't shake his father's earlier warning from his mind. Something indeed didn't add up. He decided he would finalize the new contract with the partners, but quietly prepare to replace Marina soon after. Meanwhile, Jenny continued her silent work, yet behind her calm eyes, she was unraveling a hidden web of deceit. Earlier that week, tucked away in the supply closet, she had overheard a conversation in the women's restroom. "Georgie, can't we hurry up and close the deal?" Marina whispered to her husband over the phone. "I'm already faking reports to make it look like a bargain for Andrew. What if someone catches on?" Jenny's heart raced as she pressed herself deeper into the shadows. She realized that Marina and her husband were manipulating the financial reports to trap Andrew into a disastrous deal. If this story has touched your heart so far, take a deep breath, because what happens next will change Andrew's life forever. Stay with me, friend. You're part of this journey now. Jenny worked tirelessly at night, sleeping on a folding cot hidden in the office, painstakingly gathering evidence. Her background in finance, something no one but Andrew's father knew, now became her greatest weapon. Marina, blinded by arrogance, never noticed the slight switches Jenny made to the files. She was too confident, too careless. Jenny's motivation was more than just loyalty. Deep inside, she carried a guilt she couldn't shake. Because while she had grown up with their mother, Andrew had been raised by strangers, even if they had loved him well. Her past was marked by pain. Years ago, thieves had broken into their apartment. Jenny had been the one to call the police, screaming, "Fire, fire!" out of the window to attract attention. The thieves, enraged, struck her hard, causing injuries that left her unable to speak. Her childhood ended that night, and her mother carried the guilt like a stone in her heart. After selling their apartment and moving to a village, life became a slow rebuilding. Her mother, once a respected nurse, struggled, but her love for Jenny never wavered. When Jenny finally asked her mother why she hadn't reclaimed Andrew after she healed, her mother sighed heavily. He called someone else Mama. He didn't recognize me. I thought maybe he'd be better off there. But there were darker reasons too. Threats from criminals her father had once known. Threats that made hiding the only way to survive. Jenny only learned the full truth much later. Now, as the day of the critical meeting approached, Jenny knew it was time. She had everything she needed. On the day of the big negotiations, Georgie arrived in his finest suit, smirking confidently. Marina hovered nearby, playing the loyal accountant. Marina projected her forged reports onto the large screen, highlighting the supposedly profitable terms of the contract. For a moment, the room was silent, stunned by the figures that revealed the truth. Georgie was proposing a terrible deal under a clever disguise. Panic rippled through the room. Marina turned pale, unable to understand how her perfect plan had unraveled. Georgie, unfazed, stood up and sneered. "Fine. If you don't accept our terms, Andrews, then the tax authorities will hear about your discrepancies." He nodded toward his wife, who smugly produced a red folder. But as Georgie flipped through the documents, his face contorted in horror. The evidence pointed not at Andrew, but squarely at Marina herself. In that moment, the door opened and Jenny entered, carrying more papers, and behind her, a woman so heartbreakingly familiar it stole Andrew's breath away. The woman was the mirror image of the locket he had treasured all his life, his mother. Jenny's soft, intelligent gaze locked with his. It all made sense. She was his sister. "If your heart is pounding as much as mine right now, I invite you to stay, because Andrew's story is just about to turn toward hope, redemption, and an emotional new beginning." For a long moment, Andrew could not move. He collapsed onto the sofa, overwhelmed as the others silently filed out of the meeting room. Only Jenny and the woman, the mother he had lost, remained. "Jenny?" he finally whispered, his voice thick with emotion. "Why didn't you tell me you were my sister?" Jenny smiled gently and wrote a note, passing it to him with trembling hands. "Your adoptive father asked me to protect you first. He was worried about Georgie and Marina. It was also a way to get close to you, to know you." Beside them, the woman, his mother, could only weep, her hands trembling as she tried to find the words. Over and over, she whispered, "Forgive me, forgive me." Andrew reached out and embraced her tightly. "Mom, stop. You lived the best you could. I never blamed you." His voice broke with a tenderness he hadn't allowed himself in years. He turned to Jenny, his sister, so, like their mother, it hurt to look at her. "Yes, Mom," Jenny said, her voice soft but real, her first full sentence spoken since she lost her speech. "I love you so much." That simple, powerful phrase broke through the walls of grief around them, binding their hearts together again after so many years apart. Their father, their true father, the one who had raised Andrew, stood proudly nearby. "Don't worry about Jenny," he said warmly. "She's already scheduled for treatment with the best specialist. She's already starting to speak again." And then, with a mischievous twinkle in his eye, he added, "And there's something else. Andrew, I hear congratulations are in order." Blushing slightly, Andrew confessed, "Yes, I'm getting married. To Polly, Antonov's great-granddaughter. The very same Polly who started the cheese-making business back in the village." Their father beamed. "There couldn't be a better choice. And there's more, isn't there, son?" Andrew smiled widely, his hand resting gently on Jenny's shoulder. "Yes, Polly and I are expecting a child. Jenny, you're going to be an aunt." Tears of joy filled the room. But just as you feel this warmth blooming inside you, dear listener, allow me to share something important. Life sometimes offers unexpected chances to heal, to grow, and even to transform yourself in ways you never thought possible. If you too are seeking to reclaim your energy, your body, and your confidence, there's something truly exciting waiting for you. Scientists have recently uncovered a mysterious purple shell found in nature that may help triple your fat-burning power even while you sleep, without extreme diets or exhausting workouts. Curious? You'll find all the details quietly waiting for you in the video description. Sometimes the smallest discoveries lead to the most extraordinary changes, just like they did for Andrew, Jenny, and their family. Thank you for staying until the end. If this story touched you, feel free to show your support with a gentle thumbs up, and may life bring you many beautiful surprises ahead.